What's up, y'all? This is Daniel with Pride of the Southland Kennels. Today I wanted to make a video and share with y'all a story, something that happened to me over the past week. On Friday, February the 7th at 5 p.m. on Instagram I had 127 followers, and on TikTok I had 88 followers. By Sunday night, about 48 hours later, I had almost 2,000 on each one of them platforms. Today, at the time of this filming of this video, I have 2,300 on Instagram and 2,100 on TikTok. YouTube's about the same. It grows pretty steady, nothing too crazy or too fast, but it's pretty steady. I have the most followers on that platform, approaching 4,500, hoping to get 5,000 here pretty soon, but YouTube has stayed the same. So I want to talk about what happened and what changed. I had somebody speaking to me. Let me back up. I posted on someone else's a post on Instagram regarding the black hybrid American Bulldogs, and somebody told me that what I was saying was wrong, and I told them that they needed to speak to Don Matthews about it, and it hit me. Well, I've already posted that video on YouTube years ago where Don Matthews was speaking on this cross, so I posted that video on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. It gained over 200,000 views across all platforms. So now I want to get into the story of why I'm talking about this. So for a long time I've struggled with having a breeding program with dogs and having a farm, because I feel like it takes away from time with family. It definitely takes money, time, and energy, and help from them at times to accomplish everything that we got to accomplish. Feeding the dogs, feeding the animals. When puppies get here, they take care of puppies with me. Baby goats are born. Just all the chores and everything that's involved with taking care of a farm, they help me with it. But I've struggled with that because I've always felt a little bit guilty, and I've always wanted to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So I heard a pastor say this a couple months ago, and I always save it and go back and look at it. And this is what it says. A man's hard work should help the family, not hurt the family. It should make entryways, not excuses. It should make the future secure, not scary. And it's a godly attribute, not an accident. When I start to struggle at times, I go back to those and I think, okay, I go through that list and I make sure that everything that I'm wanting to do and trying to do checks the list, and I think that you should do that as well if that's something you're struggling with. So I've wrote some Bible verses down in my little book that I keep that mean something to me, that I think goes along the lines of this right here. So I wanted to share those with y'all right now. And I encourage you to open up a Bible and go check and make sure that what I'm saying is directly from the Bible. That's something that's very important to me, and it should be to you as well, because there's so many people out there teaching the word that's not teaching out of the Bible. Now this is not out of the Bible. This come from the Bible, but this right here is not a Bible. And the first verse, this is something that my wife shared with me, is Philippians chapter 4, verse 6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. So don't worry about anything, and always lean on the Lord and pray to God for your troubles and your struggles and your worries. The next one that I wanted to share that I believe follows along those lines is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. Now if anyone does not provide for his own relatives, and especially for his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than the unbeliever. Now you got to understand, I'm sharing these verses because this is something that goes along with my dreams and some of the guilt that I have of working at times instead of spending time with family. So that's one verse that I turn to and look at. The next one is a few verses. This one really hit home to me. And I want to add something before I go on to the next verse. The Bible will meet you where you're at. We're not to take verses out of context and manipulate them and spin them to how it fits our needs and goals. But if you're reading the Bible and you're wanting the Holy Spirit, you're wanting to be filled with the Holy Spirit, the Bible will meet you where you're at. And what that means is you may read a chapter in the Bible today and get something from it, and 2 months down the road you may read that same chapter and get something else from it. The Bible meets you where you're at. I took a discipleship class and we read John chapter 5 and John chapter 15 multiple times during that class. And every time I read it, I got something different from it. So I just wanted to add that. The next one I want is, well, I made a note here that I want to add when we're talking about the farm and what I'm wanting to do out here. We're talking about self-sufficiency. So I struggled with that. And here's what I wrote. We should trust in God, but do not rely on our own efforts. We are to provide, but have faith in God. So we'll never be self-sufficient. We can't be, because God's always there with us and God's going to help us. We'll never do everything on our own. So now let's go back to Proverbs chapter 6, verses 6 through 9. Go to the ant, you slacker. Observe its ways and become wise. Without leader, administrator, or ruler, it prepares its provisions in summer. It gathers its food during harvest. How long will you stay in bed, you slacker? When will you get up from your sleep? We're supposed to work. Don't feel guilty about work. We're supposed to work 6 days a week and rest on the 7th. Don't mean we can't spend time with family and enjoy time with family. We're to do that too. But if you go back through that list that I laid out earlier, if you go back through and check off and everything passes, don't feel guilty about your work. Is the way I believe that should be. And this one right here, this last verse is Jeremiah 17, verse 5. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord. Now, I can't tell you right now on this day what that verse means to me, but at that time I wrote that verse down because it meant something to me. But I believe it's just talking about don't trust in our own efforts and beliefs, and definitely not another man. We always got to lean back on the Lord and trust in the Lord. So I say all that because I pray every day. Some days it's a continuous thing all throughout the day. Sometimes it's one time in the morning, sometimes it's a couple of times. But on Thursday, I prayed and asked God to let me know if I'm doing the right thing. And that if I was doing the right thing, make it clear to me. I still struggle with what I'm trying to do out here, because I know that it takes time away from my family. And I can't see the end result in it, but it's something that I don't know why I have. I don't really know why I have this goal and this dream. It's something I enjoy, and I believe I was told if it's not against God, it's from God. So I keep pushing through sometimes, but I feel guilty about it because it'd be real easy to go to work, provide for my family, come home, spend time with family. But a lot of times I go to work, I come out here, and I work more. But I got a good schedule with work right now that allows me to do both and be more efficient with my time with my family, so I'm thankful for that. But I prayed and asked him to let me know if I was doing the right thing, and if I was, to make it clear to me. I prayed if I was on the right path to let it be known, because it's hard to understand sometimes what God is saying and when He's speaking to you. That's one of the hardest things. But if you pick up the Bible, I don't have a Bible handy, but if you pick up the Bible, it'll let you know what you need to do. So I say all that. I've got notes here, by the way. I say all that, and at times I've prayed for specific goals. Lord, I want you to do this for me. I want you to do that for me. And this time I said, I don't want to put a limit on it. I'm going to leave that all up to you. Maybe somehow I can glorify you through my work. Now, I see God out here on the farm. I see Him. When I look out on my back porch out here, I see the mountains. I see God. I see the goats when they have babies. I see God. When a chicken lays an egg, I see God, because I can take that egg and I can eat it, or I can incubate that egg, and from that comes more life. When we have puppies, just the reproduction system of animals and humans, I see God. So there's no such thing as coincidence, is what I'm getting at. This video is not about followers, not about the amount of followers, but to me it struck me when I seen my phone just going crazy. You got a new follower, you got a new follower, you got a new follower. I went to sleep, and the amount of time that I slept about 6 hours that night. And the amount of time I slept, I gained a follower like every 45 seconds. That was crazy to me. I knew that was God, and I knew in my prayer, when I said maybe I can glorify him, I knew that he was wanting me to be able to reach more people and share the word, so I'm going to do that. And I hope everybody stays for this video. Since I've came on social media, my life took a lot of things changed, and I started to go downhill till I hit my rock bottom in 2023. And I'm not going to share the details of that, but I hit rock bottom. And then 2023 to now has come uphill. 2023 at the end of it, in August, that's when I came to the Lord and I got saved. Since then, things have come uphill. And I say that to share this clip that I'm going to leave y'all with, but before that I wanted to, I heard this piece of sermon this morning that I'm about to show y'all, and it talked about Luke chapter 9 verse 23, and that was a big main verse in my discipleship class, part of the discipleship cross, or the disciples cross. And it says, "Then he said to them," talking about Jesus, "If anyone wants to come with me, he must deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." For those of y'all that don't know what take up your cross means, at least my interpretation of that is you're going to have to sacrifice some things. That's what he did when he was carrying his cross. He was sacrificing his life and shedding blood for us, so we must make sacrifices too and deny the flesh, the things that we want to do that goes against God. We got to take up our cross daily. So thank you all for watching. I hope somebody that needed to hear this and see this got to see it. I'm going to leave you with this clip that I seen that really hit home to me. This guy's going to say it a lot better than I could ever say it, and I hope that y'all get something from it. So thank you all for watching.
When the enemy is beating you, it's because God is planning on blessing you. And the enemy wants you to quit because of the beating before you get to the blessing. If you want to have a good marriage, you're going to take a beating. You want to raise godly kids, you're going to take a beating. You want to have an integrous company that ties to the Lord, you're going to take a beating. You want to plant a church and stay open, you're going to take a beating. And ultimately, it's to get to your blessing. I need you to know that the Christian life is going to be a bit of a beating to get to your blessing. Jesus says, pick up your cross and follow me. That's your beating, and it's going to end in your blessing. And what happens is, everybody wonders, I'm taking a beating. Am I in God's will? Probably. That's why you're taking the beating. God, are you doing this? No, I don't beat my people. My enemy does, just like he beat my son. And I'm for you. I'm not against you, but I'll never leave you nor forsake you.